Dear students, first I extend my all the good wishes and welcome you at this online teaching program. Children, I have been watching for last a few days how the teachers in the faculty of English in our school have been providing you very nice and impacting delivery based on theme and summary of different chapters in your literature books. But myself, Mr. S.K. Singh, today want to give you something new and new ideas about the mechanical root of the language, and that is grammar. Children, grammar is the total mechanism of a language. As you might have seen, people driving bikes, running bikes on the roadside with accelerating speed. But do you think that all the people running their bikes on the road are mechanics? No, not at all. All the drivers running different vehicles are not essentially mechanics. But one thing is there, all the mechanics are essentially drivers. Similarly, all the people expressing their thoughts, expressing their ideas in any language, sometimes it might be English language also, cannot be certainly taken as the main of language. They are also sometimes similar to those drivers who know to drive the vehicles, but they are least aware of the mechanism of those vehicles. Similarly, people speaking English essentially cannot be the main of language, the main of knowledge of English language, because they themselves do not know whether they are wrong or right in the delivery of their speeches or the writings they are providing before readers. Children, today I want to familiarize you, I want to make you familiar with a very well known topic, that is determiner. Children, a determiner, here I have already written on the board, a determiner as usually described by our teachers. A determiner is a word that determines the position of a noun in a sentence. But sometimes an idea comes in my mind. Why not we should give the idea to the children, to the students, about the origination of determiners? In this context, children, I would like to tell you how a determiner is essentially and initially an adjective. Then you can raise some questions. Sir, if a determiner is an adjective one, then why should we recall it with some different name, and that is determiner? Of course, children, this is the point which I want to deal with you. Actually, our ancestral grammarians, our predecessor grammarians classified all the words in English under 8 different heads. Those 8 different heads are where noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. But in modern trend, our modern grammarians have classified all the words under 2 heads only. And those 2 heads are form classes and structure words. Once again, there might be rising some question at the level of your mind. On what basis the words are classified under form classes and structure words? Of course, children. Actually, some of the words in English dictionary receive affixes. Affixes are prefix and suffix. Prefix and suffix are combinedly known as affixes. And some of the words in English do not receive any morpheme, do not receive any affixes, either prefix or suffix. Apparently, for making it more clear, I would like to tell you how noun, adjective, verb, and adverb, out of 8 heads, these 4 heads containing noun, adjective, verb, and adverb, these 4 groups of words receive affixes. They are supposed to receive and adopt affixes, prefix and suffix. And remaining 4, those are preposition, conjunction, interjection, and pronoun. In serial, we can say pronoun, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. These 4 groups of words never receive any affixes. Now, we have to concentrate ourselves about the origination, about the derivation, about the emergence of determiner. Children, as I have already told you that adjective is one of the groups which receive morphemes. But we notice that some of the adjective words do not receive any affixes. Although the nature of an adjective is to receive morphemes, the nature of an adjective is to adopt affixes, prefix and suffix, and still some of the adjective words do not receive any morpheme, do not receive any affixes, do not receive any prefix or suffix. And those adjective words which do not receive any affixes are called to be determiners. And this is the origination root of a determiner. Thus, we can safely submit that a determiner is initially an adjective, but it is called to be a determiner because it does not receive any affixes, although the nature of an adjective is to adopt affixes. That is why it is kept under structure words. It is kept means those words belonging to adjective group not adopting any affixes are kept under structure words and they are called to be determiners. Children, of course, the existence, the placement of a determiner in any particular sentence gives us symbolic sign that now I am going immediately to be followed by a noun, because between a determiner and a noun, no other word is permitted to be placed at all. It is the certain sign, the existence of a determiner in a sentence ensures us that now forthcoming word is none else but a noun only. But here I would like to make you aware of one fact, children, that sometimes between a determiner and a noun, qualifiers are placed. Qualifiers may be used between a determiner and a noun. And these qualifiers are none else but an adjective or an adverb. In this regard, I have already cited a few examples on the board. You come and notice it. The very first sentence is Ram is a boy. In this sentence, A is a determiner which is ultimately followed by a noun boy, and it justifies that the existence of a determiner in a sentence is ultimately followed by a noun. Now we have second sentence, Ram is a good boy. Children, as I told you that sometimes between a determiner and a noun, some qualifiers may be placed. So here in sentence number 2, we have a determiner once again A, and the noun is boy. And in between the determiner a and boy, there has been the placement of a qualifier good. The word good is an adjective. And it proves that between the two, a determiner and a noun, a qualifier may be placed. A qualifier may be used. In sentence number 3, we have Ram is a very good boy. Ram is a very good boy. In this sentence, once again, children, the same determiner a is there. The same noun boy is at the end of the sentence. And in between the two, the determiner a and the noun boy, we have two words, and those are very and good. And it once again proves that qualifiers may be placed between the two, a determiner and a noun, but no other words can be placed between a determiner and a noun. Here, very is an adverb and good is an adjective. So in the third and last sentence, both the qualifiers have been used along with a determiner in the third and the last sentence. Children, in the second spell of our teaching program, now I would like to give you some ideas about some very important and common determiners that we encounter in our practical life. Dear students, while we come to discuss different kinds of important and common determiners, first of all, we come across article. Actually, article is subdivided in two parts. Number one is indefinite article and number two is definite article. The primitive one, that is indefinite article, contains a and an. In other words, we can safely submit a and an are indefinite articles. And the latter one, that is definite article, includes the. The is a definite article. Children, the second kind, the next kind of a determiner is possessive adjective. And this group, this kind of determiner, possessive adjective, includes my, mine, our, ours, your, yours, his, her, hers, its, and so on. Children, although basically all these words are adjectives, and yet in sentences they are used as determiners because none of the words receive any affixes, either prefix or suffix. So even if they are initially adjectives, but while used in sentences, they turn to be determiners. The third one is demonstrative adjective. This kind of adjective includes words like this, that, these, those, etc. Children, at this stage, I would like to cite you a few examples to justify how these words, as per their usage, somewhere act as determiners and somewhere as pronouns. So I would like to write two sentences, cite two examples to make it clear how they are determiners and how they are pronouns. So the first sentence is, this book is mine. This book is mine. In this sentence, this is a demonstrative adjective which is ultimately followed by a noun, book. And between these two words, this and book, no other word has been placed. And as no other word has been placed between the two words, this and book, in this sentence, this is acting in the role of a determiner. While we draw our attention towards the second sentence, this is my book. The first one is, this book is mine. The second one is, this is my book. In this sentence, both the words are present, this and book. But between this and book, we have other words also present in the sentence. Thus is just followed by an auxiliary verb, that is. And right with the placement of an auxiliary verb between a determiner and a noun, it dissuades the condition, it defies the condition that a word may be cited as a determiner only if no other word has been placed between a determiner and a noun except qualifiers. But here in this sentence, is not a qualifier. Naturally, in the second sentence, this has been used as a pronoun. This has been used as demonstrative pronoun in the second sentence. While moving forward, we come to the fourth kind of determiners, and that is numeral and quantitative adjective. Children, numeral and quantitative adjectives, these two adjectives simply qualifies the countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Numeral adjective qualifies countable nouns, whereas quantitative adjectives qualifies uncountable nouns. We have some certain examples of this group, such as few, little, some, much, etc. Although all the words that I have already cited are indefinite numeral or indefinite quantitative adjectives, because they never provide us any certain number of a noun, any certain number, any certain quantity, because they have not been preceded by any definite numeral or quantitative adjectives. And these words, few, little, some, much, are also used as determiners because none of the words of this group receive any morphemes, any affixes, either prefix or suffix. The next kind of determiner is distributive adjective. A distributive adjective includes words like each, every, either, neither, etc. Children, at this stage, once again, I would like to cite a few examples to justify how this adjective also does never contain any morphemes, any affixes, any prefix or suffix. For example, we can cite each boy of my school is disciplined. In this sentence, the word each is a distributive adjective, but here in this sentence it is a determiner. Each and boy, two words are there, and between the two words, each boy of my school is disciplined, no other words have been placed between the two words each and boy, and the word each is ultimately followed by a noun boy, and thus in this sentence the word each is just acting as a determiner. But using the same word in some other sentence, we can prove how sometimes it can be a pronoun also, such as each of the boys of my school is disciplined. In this sentence also we have already the same two words, each and boys, but between these two words each and boys we have the placement of other words also, such as of and the. And as other words have been placed which are not qualifiers, naturally in this sentence the word each is acting not as a determiner but as a pronoun. Now I would like to make you acquainted with the next kind of determiner, and that is interrogative adjective. Interrogative adjectives are there, such as what, which, whose. These are the words coming under the head of interrogative adjectives. And the words under this head also never accept any affixes, any prefix or suffix. Naturally, they turn to be determiners. But we must never forget the prime condition that a determiner and a noun two words might be there, and between these two words, other than a qualifier is never permitted to be placed. And if some other words are placed between the two, it means in that sentence the word is not acting as a determiner but as a pronoun. Here also I would like to cite you a few examples. Suppose we say, which is your favorite book? The first sentence, which is your favorite book? In this sentence, we have the word which is the example of an interrogative adjective. Book is also there. Book is a noun. But between these two words, which and book, we have other words also. We notice the placement of other words between these two words, such as is. And is an auxiliary verb, which is never permitted to be placed between the two, a determiner and a noun. Naturally, in this sentence, the word which is not a determiner but an interrogative pronoun. The second sentence, the second example I would like to give you, which book do you like most? Which book do you like most? In this sentence, children, you can well scrutinize. The two words are there. The same two words used in the first sentence are present in the second sentence also. Which and book. Which book do you like most? In this sentence, children, we can well notice how which and book, which is an interrogative adjective, book is a noun, and between these two words, which and book, no other word has been placed, no other word has been used. Naturally, in this sentence, the word which is a determiner. Some other determiners are also there, children. Some miscellaneous examples of determiner are there, which you may learn in your practical life in course of practice and exercise. Today, I conclude my teaching program at this stage and wish you all a very happy and prosperous life in future. Thank you, children.